This episode of Talkitecture is brought to you by Rode Microphones, the official microphone of the Loudspeakers Network. Since building our studio, we teamed up with Rode because we wanted the best in microphones, and Rode offers professional broadcast quality mics. We've been using the Rode Procaster now for a few months, and the audio quality is amazing, and the Procaster is one of the best mics for podcasting. To get more information on the Rode Procaster and Rode's other microphones, go to Rode.com. That's RODE.com. Internet's Talkitecture's back in your ear holes. Hey, King, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro.
You looking energized, brother.
I am. Yo, shout out to you, man.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to you.
We still here, King.
I thought you was going to walk away after episode 5.
No, not at all.
I had him at 3.
We was placing wages.
Got over under.
No, not at all. We're in here. We're excited. I'll tell you what. Tonight is one of those nights where, quiet as it's kept, my internet presence is partially inspired by the folks we have in here that we're going to talk to.
For sure.
And their button pushing, their creative control of their narrative is the shit that excited me. Not even knowing these guys, but just seeing what could be done in the space, what people were doing with art, particularly dynamic visual mediums. All right, if they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, how many frames are in 1 second of film? Internets, do y'all know? How many?
30 frames in a second.
30 frames in a second. So that's
how much polo
well, hold on. I'm saying that's 1,000 words times 30 for just 1 second.
1,000.
How many seconds are in a minute?
67.
How many minutes are in an hour?
40.
How many hours are in a feature film? 2. How many words are these brothers creating?
Let me get my calculator out. Hold on.
Niggas pulling out their TI-83s and shit.
That's why we got Bar Yeezus. Bar Yeezus does the math for us when we need those mathematical problems
Say
answered.
there's not more than 60 seconds in a minute.
Goodbye.
Somebody said it.
It's all by agreement.
What you say?
King.
What's a minute?
What if you say 41? Am I wrong? We don't know.
Tonight we got a super incredible episode.
Deep.
A group that inspires me to do my thing. And now I get to sit and talk with them. Well, I'm standing, but anyhow, we get to talk with them. Internet's creative control creators, the fountainhead, Coodie and Chike.
Yeah. Happy to be here amongst friends and family.
Right, thank you.
G.Y. Mike. You know what I'm saying?
What a body of work for y'all young brothers.
Thank you.
Where do we begin? I guess I start with y'all in saying, what's the idea? What comes into your mind that says, hey, wait a minute, I can take control of my narrative. I can be a storyteller.
Man, for us, that actually happened out of a situation. It wasn't like we just came. It wasn't like that was our initial, when we met, after we met, it wasn't like our initial thing, like, oh, we're creative control. Like, they actually came out of being in a situation where we realized we didn't have control. Yeah. So it was like creating work and then not being, because we weren't the ones financing the work, you know, being naive to how this is, we were doing a commercial, and basically the people we were doing a commercial with who were financing the commercial, you know, they had the say so because they were putting up the finances. And not only did they have to say so, they had to say so over something that was representing our culture. Exactly. So we do all this research, show them like, man, we got to pull that tape out. It was this tape. We filmed all the influencers. We were in LA at the time, so we got like Taz, like B-Win, Jerry, Hobb, like all these cats in LA. You know what I'm saying? This is in the beginning, like the whole streetwear scene in LA, and we got them all on film, just breaking down, you know, sort of like our culture, which is crazy because we even have to, why do we even have to break that shit down? But we're breaking it down. And for this commercial to understand why they need to go into this direction, because if they go into this direction, the commercial will be quote unquote cool. Yep. So we do a great job. They buy the concept off of this like sizzle we put together. we do the commercial, so you're thinking like they would listen to us based off of.
First, you gotta tell them the people that we had audition for the commercial.
Oh,
so
man.
we
So I'm
brought
talking
in
about,
like Kid Cudi,
Theophilus. I'm talking about Theophilus London. I'm talking about Aloe Black. I'm talking about. You said Kid Cudi, Mickey Fax, because they were all kind of rolling together. But they hadn't nobody had popped yet. Right. This is like they're doing. If you go look at it's like looking at the Tupac tape when Tupac was on the video talking with the little white background. It's like that.
But their MySpaces were popping.
Probably.
Oh yeah,
they was popping. We knew what was going on.
Right, exactly.
But that was all in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Mickey had. He was bubbling in Brooklyn. That's how we knew about him. You know what I'm saying? But just globally, they hadn't burst yet. You know what I mean? So we had them all in a room because we're trying to pick sort of like who the hero of this commercial is going to be, and we're like, man, y'all need to pick. These are the guys y'all need to talk to, because if you ride with them, we saw the wave. You'll be on this wave. Right. So we end up going with Mickey Fax, right? So we do this commercial, and we shoot everything, so we have all the elements for this shit. This is what makes it even worse, because we riding this wave so long where we're thinking, oh yeah, we about to kill it when this commercial comes out. It's gonna be a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Footage is shot, footage is in the can, footage is dope. It's like I believe it was like for Honda Civic, so it's a big brand.
I remember.
Yeah. And we had, and it was like. And I'm talking about, if you've seen the deck, I got to pull the deck out, because the shit we were talking about, it was thinking of a podcast. It was like going to be this whole little, Mickey Fax had a live show, and we had pitched a bigger play for this whole thing. Yeah. You never get to see this stuff. So you never get to see like the top level stuff we're actually talking about that never gets executed for this. It winds up getting dwindled down to this little watered down IP of nothing, when in our minds we've created something that now you're starting to see now the things that we talked about in 2007 when we're trying to pop this off. This was exactly what we're talking about, except it was in the Mickey Fax's garage podcast. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So we shoot everything, they get it. We're not allowed to edit it
together.
Which is crazy, because the thing that kills it, and this is when they don't realize the nuances of the culture. I'm talking about something as simple as a handshake. Yes. Right? Mickey goes and daps up DJ Gomez. Yeah. And it's like, simple. Nothing to even, you know what I'm saying? If we probably wouldn't even have shot that. I mean, we probably wouldn't even have harped on it. Whoever was editing it edits it as if like the handshake is the defining moment of having credibility within the culture. And so they handshake, like he does this whole, makes this big deal out this handshake, and at the instant just kills the whole thing. That simple, just off of the way that they showed the handshake. And we're just like, we already knew. That's just a small example of, you can imagine all the other things that got changed. But just off of that, we were like, this is crazy. We would never present work that would reflect our culture in this manner. Right. And at that point, we realized,
who edits that? Like, is it was somebody advertising company?
Yeah, just an advertising company editor that doesn't even understand.
I mean, y'all are not calling to the room. Y'all are not.
We let us do anything. Yeah. They was like,
they just jacked the whole thing.
Thank you.
Right. Y'all just shoot the content. Basically, hand it off.
And
then
to use your name behind a black
door. They never did nothing.
We told them don't put our names.
Yeah, we told them don't put our names. But it wasn't nothing. I mean, look, they didn't care. To them, we are such small fish at that time in this pond. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's how the commercial world works. Mm-hmm. We were just more naive to understanding how it works. We're thinking, we come in, give them our concept. Nah, it don't work like that in the commercial world. As a director, for the most part, there's a whole copyright team that works for the agency that's writing all the copy, that's already come up with the creative. You know what I'm saying? You're basically already giving storyboards. You look at the storyboards and you come up with like your way of how you want to tell the story. What they consider a director in that world is, how can you bring out the copy that's been written? How can you bring out that out of the actors? See, we come from music videos where you're in charge of the whole thing, from the vision to the end. But in the commercial world, it's completely different. Yeah. But we were naive. We're young.
I don't believe that either. I believe because y'all were young, y'all also didn't. When that tape got handed off and they went and slipped into that black door. Yeah. If y'all were a little older, they would have said, "Oh, wait a minute, come inside the door with us."
And we didn't have the cachet at the time. They knew, like, okay, if it was like, Spike Lee wasn't going for. He would, you know, they couldn't play that game with Spike Lee. But they knew what they needed us for. They just needed to get a little bit of the into the culture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To be able to get these Mickey or whoever, because these cats might not have done it if it wasn't for us bringing them to the table. You know what I'm saying?
But they gave us a chance, though.
That's a good point.
Right. So they need the clout number. They like, oh, we got the clout number 80. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. But like, hey, wait a minute, we could get y'all the clout 100. Yeah. No, we got the clout 80. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
When
and we feel bad.
Does that? So like sometimes they're using like the name. They're using the rapper for clout. Where Mickey wasn't really pop like crazy like that. Mm-hmm. But like when they get a big name rapper to come in, I find like. Lil Yachty, for instance, he did that Target commercial some time ago, and I went and looked online and found the agency, and you know they pretty much give you a whole rundown of the people that they hired down to the choreographer, and you know I'm an asshole like that, so I went and looked everybody up, and it was, you know, everyone was white. You know what I mean? And I wonder to myself then, because he has a huge cachet. If he could have been like, hey man, look, you know, like you're using these records, you're using my music, you want these people to dance to my music. Like, shouldn't we hire someone that looks like me to choreograph this music? You know what I mean? Like the producer, everybody. It was fucking crazy actually. Like if you look at it, I'm wondering. In that world, is that a possibility? Like, if somebody's, yo, hold up a second. Let me just look at, you know, who you're hiring for this. You know what I mean? Before we even get there. I mean, is that something? Is that even possible? I mean, like I was saying with the Honda joint, is they gave us a chance to do it, because like a first time commercial director they like. If you haven't done a car commercial, it's hard to get. Like if it's a liquor, whatever brand it is, if you haven't done that commercial, then you pretty much you got to have a sizzle or something with that.
That's why most commercial directors have spec. They do spec commercials.
No, I'm talking about from the artist standpoint, like somebody that comes in that has all the.
Well, see, the artist. The thing about it, like, say, perfect example is like with Mickey, right? Mickey. When we came to Mickey, he already had his buzz going in New York, and Mickey's smart, so Mickey knows how he wants to be presented as a brand. Right. So he's very aware of like, okay, at that time, they're not coming straight to Mickey, we're coming to Mickey, so Mickey's kind of entrusting in us, like, okay, well, we're like the vetting. Okay, well, they wouldn't be doing, you know what I'm saying? So it's just based on the fact that he knows the work that we've done in the past, so I trust it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
So in that case, it worked out for Mickey. Yeah. Right? He got lucky. It was you. I'm saying if they get somebody with a bigger name and they call him up, Honda calls him up like, yo, we want you to do a commercial. Here's the bag. He walks in like, all right, cool. He goes, shoots the commercial, but the staff, like I think right now there's something they're going around in Hollywood called like an inclusion rider. Is that what it is? Yeah. People are going around and saying, "Yo, I want to see."
Well, when it depends. It's all checks and balances, man. It's all leverage. It's all like, if you're, how popping are you? If you command this much and have this much power, perceived power, then you have more say in what's going down around the infrastructure. It just depends on what you bring in, what's perceived that you're bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying? So like. If a Drake walks in the room in any commercial, he's gonna have some say against, even to the copyright. But if somebody's up and coming, they're gonna say what they tell them to say. You know what I'm saying?
And I do believe that they do what they tell them to say and just get the money. I don't think they go in there like, I don't gotta be done like this, because I think they just get the money and do what they have to do.
But it depends. Like Ye, like you was there when Ye did what happened when he was how did that whole Spike Lee Pepsi thing go down?
He just did it.
He did?
He just went in there, did the commercial, and there it is.
Well, it was Spike.
Yeah, it was
so
Spike.
He was clear on that. Yeah. So, but like most guys will walk in and take the money, and it's like, bro, like the music that they're using in this, the choreographer, the director, no one else looks like you here. Yeah. Doesn't a light bulb go off in your head and says, hey, wait a second, Like the driver, the catering, bro.
I don't think nobody thinking about that.
I don't think nobody's thinking about that. I think what you just said right there, just the driver,
securing bags,
the driver, the guy that picked you up from the airport, the guy that brought you to the hotel, the guy that picked you up from the hotel that brought you to the set. I don't think other than maybe your man that's holding your iPhone is the only person whose face you recognize.
Weed carrier.
Right.
Basically, your umbrella holder, your weed carrier. And I mean, this is, again, when that Hollywood bag or that perceived Hollywood bag gives your phone a ring, I don't know too many people who have the mind to say, wait a minute, hold on for a second. You know, before we get this thing underway. Because the truth is,
Samuel Jackson.
Hey, you say you like to play the long game. To play the long game on this. Before the before the artist even gets to that point, when the artist goes to the label, at the top level, who looks like them?
100%.
Exactly.
This is the thing, though. They don't get to choose that. Right? That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You walk in.
Well, if they don't sign, they can choose.
Okay, you don't sign, you don't choose. That's cool too. But you walk into a situation that's.
But it's like not doing a commercial.
Yeah, they don't get to choose a commercial either.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. There are things you're able to choose. You can say, hey, hold on, cool. This is how much it is, but we need to talk about this.
You saying that the artist could be more Brody?
Hold on a second. Yeah. So, but when you walk into a record label, it's kind of like, it's almost like a partnership. It's like almost like
but it's
like
not
walking into a job. It's like walking into a job. You know, I don't like this guy, get rid of him. No, you walking into a fucking job, bro. That's it, right? What you can't choose is your manager. What you can choose is your booking agent, right? Like there are choices you could make, and I believe, because it has happened, and people are talking about inclusion writers now. That's a big talk in Hollywood now. You can. It's just niggas that just take the bag and not think. You know what I mean? Like they don't control. You can't control that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's certain aspects of your career that you have control of, and I don't think it's like it's just ignorance. You know what I mean? And not in a bad way either. It's just I don't know. I'm just taking the bag. I don't know to look shit and see who.
I mean, but and it's not what they do. So they make music.
Exactly.
They perform,
exactly.
But they don't make commercials.
Exactly.
They're like, okay, I'm gonna go do this commercial.
100%.
And the commercial doesn't affect them that much if it's good or bad. It's not really affecting the artist.
100% correct. But I'll have you consider this. It's your responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
It should be.
For sure.
It sucks.
For sure. Yeah.
But you're black.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But
it sucks.
Hold on for a second. I can remember LL doing a Gap commercial and making sure that he put a plug in for FUBU.
Yeah. But they didn't know.
But again, hold on for a second. LL at that point though wasn't a new artist. He was also seasoned. He was also somebody who had a decade plus inside the business. So I think it also takes. I mean, let's face it. We're all human, and that's why these guys get targeted. Young guys get targeted. One, because they preach to a young demographic, and two, because that's why do we put machine guns on the backs of young people? Because they're dumb. Because it's stupid. Because we can get them to do shit like that.
The thing about it is, you go into the game, and when you at that, and when things are happening fast around you, like you just put this trust in people blindly. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I've been in a situation before. We was doing it, and this is with people that I know that you know what I'm saying. We was doing a photo shoot for LRG. I can't even believe I'm even saying this on the camera, but we're doing this photo shoot for LRG.
Rest in peace, Jonas.
Rest in peace. I was the fam. You know what I'm saying? Jonas such a good dude. Rest in peace. Right. So we doing a shoot, and now they took a whole bunch of photos. So there's somebody directing us, right? So we got the cameras. We taking these pictures, and one of the guys tell me, "You put the camera in. Put the camera in."
Because the camera's
like you shooting yourself because it's like a gun. So the camera's like a gun. So he's like, act like you commit suicide, like you putting the gun in your mouth. So I'm putting the gun. So then they take the pictures. That's the picture that they do. If you see that picture,
hold on a second. I feel like I got these LRG.
Yeah, that's the LRG ad, and I got the gun in my mouth. Oh, even when I see it, I didn't think about nothing. I'm just like, so he's like, yo, that shit look crazy.
The problem was this. He said put the camera in your mouth. He ain't say wrap your lips around the camera. No, his lips wrapped around the camera, man. I'm like, they're supposed to be like that. But the camera, there was no way there was no way to put it. Pause. It's all
no, that one was all fucked up. It was all we gotta blank that from our minds. From our mind's eye right now. That's all right. You still a man.
But I'm just saying, I'm still a man. But I'm saying that's a perfect example of a scenario where it's not until you see the final product that you even realize that you not even got baited. Nobody was even thinking about it. Nobody. We're talking about something different, but still something that I wouldn't have done had I thought about it more. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That was y'all Derrick Rose GQ shoot.
If I saw the picture, before it got taken, I'd have been like, "Oh hell nah!" You know what I'm saying?
But at least you didn't have on a sheer shirt like that. Then it would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. But hold on. Let's rewind. Let's rewind. Before y'all are Coodie and Chike, I'm sorry.
Coodie and Chike,
because I'm a fuck that
up. We got butcherable names, man.
I'm gonna fuck that up all night. Hopefully not. Pause. Where do y'all come in professionally together? Is this at MTV?
Yeah. I was working at MTV as a designer, like a motion graphics designer. So I was packaging the different shows. So like if you saw like TRL, like Rock and Jock back in the day,
so all those
some shows, VMAs, I create the packaging. So I meet with the producers. I decide what's going to be the look of the show when it gets presented on air, as far as like the interstitials, when you go in and out of commercial, the bumpers, we directed those 5-second pieces to just give the show an overall look. You know what I mean? And that's what my background is, motion graphics. And so I met Coodie, and he can tell you what he was kind of doing prior.
Well, I was filming KanYe in Chicago, and when KanYe moved out here, I moved out here, and they wanted to do You Here First on KanYe at the MTV. So the producer Yasmin brought me over there, and she was like, I want you to meet all the black people in MTV. So I went around, and Chike was one of the first.
There's about 6 of us.
Chike was the only one.
Sway was there. I was the mentor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
it was 6 people, though. Really.
And right, there was that light-skinned cat.
Caduce. Who else was
it? Like Craig David.
You had the team. You had Kurt, Antonio, Butterman was still there.
Butterman. So I met 6 people, and Chike was one of the 6.
Yeah. Hey, man. Shout out to
They can only be 6.
Yeah, right.
They had to get rid of somebody.
Yeah.
So we just kicked it really, like, after I met him, he ended up somehow kicking it with my roommate. My roommate,
I had the wine punch truck
he was driving.
So I was out here with this big, like, Warthog, like, ice cream truck, brand new, with like
22,
speakers coming out the side of the truck banging. Like a sound system on the top, and I had a coolant I had to give out, like a wine punches. So I was rolling around that, and I picked up his roommate Snoop wanted to roll with me and film, so I had him roll with me, and I went and got a whole bunch of my homegirls. We all got in there and kicked it. We was going to all the parties. Lotus.
The Lotus was popping.
Yeah.
But this nigga never went out. He didn't go out. I used to have to try to drag him. I mean, we were roommates in college. This is my homie. So I just knew his personality. He just very introverted. Man, this dude started kicking it every weekend. I'm like, where you? Oh, yeah, with Coodie. You know, I had met Coodie, but after that,
Coodie was lit.
Yeah, it takes a while for me to build. Like we got to meet several times organically before I even, like, bring you into my circle like that.
Say word to King. I know.
You already know what that is. But I was like, hold up, man. It's been like a year. Your ass ain't kicked it this much. So this dude gotta be live as hell. So I'm like, man, that's when I was like, let me go see what this is all about. And dude, like, he just like Coodie, just a different person, man. It's just, he steps in the room. It's just, he got a certain energy, light, and his smile. It's different. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it just attracts other people that want to be a part of that. That he got a gravitational pull. You know what I'm saying?
Coodie, is that a Midwest vibe?
Oh yeah, you know it's a Chicago thing. You know what I'm saying?
Cribs.
Yeah, Grant, you could tell them about Chi-Town and the.
Hey, y'all, you got it. You the OG, man. But I'm curious to know, like, from New Orleans, Chike, and you from Chicago, like, what was it that cemented like this business relationship? Because it started on the friendship level, but at what point were you guys like, yo, we should connect? I mean, you doing this, I'm doing this.
He started when he showed me he popped in a tape called Channel Zero.
Oh yeah, I know about you.
It was a rap. When I saw this Channel Zero, dog, I'm talking about, you gotta remember, this is before like YouTube is popping like that. This is early. And he shows me this tape, and it's like mash cut of just all types of footage of like them sneaking into parties, like fights, but fights, not just fights, like a fight with like Purple Rain, Prince playing on top of like crazy shit, but like lo-fi, you know what I'm saying? Like the graphics from the VHS.
I'm still doing lo-fi shit.
Lo-fi, but we're like Ghostface before Ghostface was taking off his mask, concert shit, Biggie, like what?
You know the clip that's out right that a lot of people got on their Instagrams is the clip with me and KanYe. Cause I used to be the host of Channel Zero. I did professional stand up for like 7 years, so I was like hosting instead of like behind the camera. So it's a clip with me and KanYe at Jermaine Dupri party that's out with Mace. So y'all look for that clip. But that was a Channel Zero, one of the Channel Zero joints. But it was a raw, uncut show out of Chicago. We was kicking it. We was sneaking places. Jermaine Dupri party, we stuck it there. You know what I'm saying? I'm interviewing everybody, kicking it. But then I just fell in love with instead of in front of the camera, I fell in love behind the camera. And I started helping my man Danny Soares produce the joints with my man Sonny and then I started filming KanYe because I seen KanYe was so talented. I'm like, oh, this dude cold. I think he gonna like win Grammys. So I'm like, I'm gonna put a camera on him and do like a Hoop Dreams documentary. You know what I'm saying? So I started filming him, but he wound up moving out to New York, and like I said, and then I moved, and that's how we all started.
Both of y'all are incredible visionaries to see these waves. You know, when the wave, like you're spotting the wave out in the middle of the ocean, not when it's on the shore, because everybody can see the wave when it hits the shore. Yeah. But when that wave is way out in the middle of the ocean, way out past Nantucket, you seeing it and you be like, wait a minute, this shit is about to be a wave. Yeah. Let me get the surfboard out. Let me get. What is that?
I think that's like. That might be like the underlining thing that I think brings us together that we don't really realize. But I can't really explain it, but I know that's the one thing that a lot of people, it's hard to like, you can't even market that yourself. Like, who are we to say like, oh, we know, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at the trends in the work, it's like, and we think about it all the time, it's like, damn, man, like, you know, like, when we doing music videos, you got to realize after we did Through the Wire, everybody's coming at us about videos, but we're not just taking videos. We could have done, you know, the Petey Pablo was popping at the time. They came at us to do this Petey Pablo video, but they wanted to do the same typical narrative. But the one thing when music comes to us, we're not just thinking about like what the visual is. We're thinking about like, what's the impact of this song gonna be? So when we listen, we're almost like A&Rs. When we're listening to music to decide what videos, we're like, is this shit gonna pop? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the legs? What's the domino effect of this music? What's the gonna effect that music's gonna have on the culture? Is it positive? Is it negative? We take into consider all these things, probably the same things that people are taking into consideration when they want to break an artist. So I don't think there's a mistake to why, like, we've done a lot of artists' first videos. A lot of artists you see our names attached to are artists that have huge trajectory. I mean, Crit's first video, Pitbull's first video, Joey Badass first video,
John Legend, EPK.
KanYe's
first video. Shit, I can probably name a couple more.
When I talked about zeitgeist earlier, off mic, I think, but again, this is, you guys are the motherfucking zeitgeist. You are not creating it, but you are in that motherfucking matrix. And with YouTube, I knew that we were going to start to see music before we heard it. I mean, we're so viscerally motivated anyhow as a species since the cave painting days. We love sound too. Like when thunder cracked off, everybody knew, oh shit, thunder, and the birds are yelling. Listen to the birds. But we love to have... I'm just talking about how as a species,
I'm fucking with him, G.
we love to touch stuff and we love to hear something, smell something, but we really love to see shit. And we love to have
once every episode.
Y'all's dynamic is so.
When he went to Thunder, motherfuckers was looking around like.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
we
Well, we do
love
got
to
Rocky
have
Thunder in the
eyes told our
building.
vision.
Shout
We love
right
to have our
under.
vision.
Hey, Rocky Thunder.
And the birds eye.
Yo.
She's smelling good.
There's a
Rocky.
from here. There's a.
Hold on. What I'm saying.
Sorry, go ahead, brother.
What I'm saying
Be
is
safe.
you guys are so in front that you may even think, or people may even think that y'all are behind now, but y'all are on your third or fourth lap.
And they're trendsetters too.
So how do you slow down all of this shit going on in your head to the speed for which us regular people can internalize and digest your ideas?
Man, honestly, the only reason why at some point you wind up doing stuff where you feel like, man, we gotta kind of reel it back a little bit, is because we live in a society where you gotta eat to live. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we keep thinking or presenting stuff that is going over the people's heads that are the ones that are gonna be cutting these checks for us. This is at the time. This is before we realize the power of us. Like, fuck it, we just gonna do it on our own.
Right.
But at that time, we just like, man, we gotta figure out. We gotta reel our shit back a little bit, because, you know, and it sucks because you just want to keep being progressive as possible. But if you're the only person that knows and thinks you're progressive, then it's not. Or, you know what I'm saying? What's the point?
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna tell you our dynamic, right? So Chike, he is real progressive. Like, he's way 2030. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta, like, and I live in the now. I'm like right here. I'm like, what's now? But you know, but seeing where he at, I bring that back. So what I can't, it's hard. It's a fight. So I bring it back, and we get to right in that middle part, and that middle part is where we live. You know what I'm saying?
That's where the money is.
Which is perfect. Right. You know what I'm saying? That was through the wire. That was everything that we did.
You know, trend setting.
What year did Chike mention shooting videos from drones?
Okay.
Like 2001.
I'm gonna tell you though. I'm gonna tell you everything. Put it like this.
There's a lot of shit up
In
in
2006,
that the government got.
Dude, I promise to God, in 2006, everything that's going on right now, he talked about. I'm talking about everything.
Yeah, definitely with like fashion things.
Fashion. We had a thing called the Boulevard, where we was like, it was gonna be like this world online where you can go buy stuff online, but like as an avatar.
Yeah.
He was talking that then. I'm talking about now. It's like it's like the standard. It's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it's the worst thing ever, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like a gift, but it's the curse at the same time.
Yeah, but you know,
until it catches up with itself, it's like, you know, whatever. I can have fun in my own head, but what is that? Doesn't mean anything if no.
I mean, everything's in God's time, though. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, it's, you know.
But to reel that back to music videos, I have a love-hate relationship with music videos, because the reason why my first love is music videos. Coodie's he was a comedian, and it was about movies. So I kind of, obviously because of the KanYe thing, but like I went to MTV too. I took the job at MTV when I was in college. I said, I'm going to work at MTV so I can meet an artist to do music videos. Right. That was like my journey. That's before I even started working. When I was in college, I manifested that situation. Sure enough, I wound up meeting KanYe. That's my plan. And at the time, music videos, you can have a career doing music videos. Hype is making millions of dollars. Hype was my inspiration. That's why I got into the game, because I was watching those videos that Hype was doing with Busta Rhymes. That was my shit. But then I'm also seeing, you know, I'm from Third Ward, New Orleans. I'm from a crazy area in New Orleans, but my mother and them sent me to a private school. So I'm the only black kid in this entire school. So I'm catching, they're listening to Pantera. They're listening to like this crazy hard Megadeth and shit like that, Tool. So I'm seeing these Tool videos with this stop motion, and I'm just like, dang, if we take shit like this and put it with hip hop, it'll be crazy because I remember all the creative videos that Tribe was doing, but I'm also seeing after hype, I'm seeing it start to kind of water down where now you're starting to we're coming in more in an era when it's just about, you know, they pouring champagne on girls. So I'm just like, oh, there's a lane right here. If we can do videos that are super creative, but taking these songs that are very raw, like we'll win. You know what I mean? So when we
realized that the budgets were drying up,
it didn't matter because to do this, you didn't need big budgets. Because I come from at home with construction paper.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, that's the thing. Like our peoples, we're creative.
Ingenuity.
We don't need money to be good at. We know we make shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the last thing that was even on my mind, which is a gift when we do gift and a curse. Don't do something. Oh, word, you can do that for that amount? Okay. That's where you live.
You're hired.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's where you stay.
And that's where you stay. Through the Wire was a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying?
Once it gets around, they did for how much?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
So we became those dudes. Oh, they could do dope stuff for nothing, for like little to nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody wants it Through the Wire. Like after we do the Through the Wire, they want that, or they want us to do their concept. When it's like, wait, but I have a vision. Like we want to do videos that are gonna change the game. Like we're writing these out the box treatments, and but like Michael Myers is still getting his out the box treatments. So then I'm just thinking about it like, damn, like I don't think like being black, like when you write these treatments, they're not perceived how I might perceive them in my head. I think like they don't really think that. They're looking at it as more lowbrow.
I'm telling you right now what's happening. You're writing this treatment. They're like, okay, all right, no, here's what we're going to do. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on for a second. I just fucking gave you some Dr. Strangelove shit.
Yeah.
And you want...
Yeah.
You want Chicken George?
Yeah. Exactly. So you feel like you're in a game that you love so much, but there's no love. It don't want to be changed. Nobody really wants to. Nobody wants to. Now I'm seeing I'm seeing some dope stuff. You know what I mean? But at that time, it was like.
But I mean, it got to a point where I think you guys had to fund your own dream.
Yeah, that's what creative control comes out of all of that. It comes out of like, dang, we're not the type that's going to wait. At some point, you realize, oh, wait a minute, it ain't going to happen unless we do it ourselves. We can sit on the side, or are we just going to play a game that we don't? And at the end of the day, in life, you can't do anything in life if you're not 100% passionate about it. If you're not doing something you love, if you're not doing something you would do for free, you're wasting your time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I have a feeling that one of the things that you were talking about, Dallas, was like your ability to detect trends, which is amazing to me. And I noticed that, especially in the Erykah Badu video. I didn't know she had an ass like that.
We didn't either.
You guys
Power
did that. That was and that became a trend.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Like you didn't. I mean, we grew up loving her, right? Like, oh shit, she's beautiful. She's so smart. And then you guys opened up an entire world for us. Perverts.
and she's like, but see with Erykah,
but that you guys
not just for Erykah, but I think for all Hotep chicks. People was like, oh snap, Hotep chicks got booty.
Yeah. But it's almost hard with Erykah because Erykah's like a unicorn. So I feel like Erykah saw that play. She already saw the play. Like Erykah, because that was her concept. Yeah. Like she already knew. She already knew what she was unveiling to the world.
You're from 2030 and she's from 3030.
Exactly. Yeah. Erykah's like,
you
know what I'm saying?
And she was like, because I actually shot it. She was like, Coodie, you weren't supposed to show the back part of me. I was like, what you mean? What you talking about?
And you
made my booty famous.
You already know what it's like.
Oh, right. That's every rip.
That's not even, I mean, that part's just human. That's just us.
See, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't, you know. But I didn't do it on pride. I was like, oh, yeah, let me get this shot.
It was y'all got to be some kind of superheroes that neither y'all ended up with a child. From Erykah.
Man.
Listen.
You don't look in her eyes. Okay. I didn't look in her eyes.
That was the thing. Okay, that's what saved you. That's what saved you.
Is the Hotep Thanos.
She is the Hotep Thanos.
It's so funny because I think Drake did that song. I think they did a song together, or whatever, and he was talking about the tea with the grapes or whatever, or something like that. It did that, like.
But no, that's the song we thought was Drake. It was another dude that sounds like Drake on that mixtape.
I was bugging. I was like, man, we went there. She gave us some tea with grapes.
That cellular device joint.
Yo, GY, they also, I blame these guys, as dope as they were, they enabled all of the videographer hype beasts to start using their tax money to Go to B&H.
Get that 5D.
100%.
That's Coodie.
That's Coodie.
Hustler Spirit.
That became the new hip hop channel.
Dude, them, my man Rick Cordero.
Yeah, Rick for sure. Got to give Rick props.
And what's the other dude's name? There was another guy.
Create out in the city?
Yeah.
And they do that? I can buy this.
Exactly.
And then...
Do I remember when I first seen that Canon? Woods. That Canon my boy Wood showed me, and it had the changeable lenses. I was like, what? I said, if I get one of them, dude, I'm going to shoot everything. So Dave Dash bought me one. He was like, he gave it to me. Then I shot everything to the point where Canon gave us 3 cameras for free.
Wow. So that was a creative control. That's like that was at Dame's. We was on Lay Street at his crib. He had a crib in Tribeca. That's where we was all working out of. And that's when because Coodie shoot, like, I don't really get by unless it's something for myself or something we're doing like personal. Coodie, when he showed me that Channel Zero, when you say, I went to art school, so I understand like the raw side, but I also understand like as far as when it comes to art, just the education of art as like an institute. Mm-hmm. When I saw Coodie's stuff on Channel Zero, I was like, dog, this shit is. I saw like the cinematography, the way he was shooting, he was just like the art of the whole construction of the thing, and he was just doing this shit naturally. I'm like, dog, this is like the fonts. I'm looking at the typography,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the fact that you're shooting like people that are superstars, but on VHS. You know what I'm saying? So you're bringing them down to like relatable levels as humans. So you're personifying this thing and making it very nostalgic.
Cool.
Like I'm seeing all this stuff.
Or Super 8.
It was a Super VHS camera. We had a Super VHS camera. Then I got the Canon Mark II. No.
I don't even remember. It was a GL1 or something.
GL1 or one of them. That's when I started shooting KanYe.
He literally went Coodie like every camera.
I got them still.
Yeah.
I collect cameras.
Dig that.
Yeah, I got a lot of cameras.
So I got a question, because it also seems, because there's a lot of videographers that have all the technology and they have the wherewithal, but with you guys, I noticed you guys just have this energy. You guys are able to capture this certain energy and you capture it on film. Like, how much is that just being in the right place at the right time versus this is actually a skill that you have and you possess this?
I mean, it was just God.
I'm talking about from like the KanYe West videos to like certain shots you got in like a 30 for 30, like the Benji documentary, for example, like coming up from Chicago.
It's a certain thing that you tapping into that you grew up with. It's a soul that you just know that you relate to. It's like one of our favorite artists and mentor, but it's like an Ernie Barnes painting. I always say like Ernie Barnes, if you look at Ernie Barnes' painting, if you see the soul and the way he captured black people in our environments, the beauty of the ghetto, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. We all grew up in these areas, so we see those same things that for whatever reason were larger than life to us, and it's like we're just recapturing familiar moments that you grew up seeing around you. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to.
Really
that's
just part of the continuity of this soul. I told you, the people that made it on that boat. The people that made it over here.
Exactly.
You're part of that continuity.
Yes.
That said, I'm playing the long game. I'm playing the extra long game. And I'm playing it with soul.
Exactly.
The 30 for 30. This is an incredible story. I mean, this is not a singular story, although it's a particular story I'll tell, but it's not a singular one in that if you grew up in an urban setting, we all know that guy that was gonna be somewhere. He was gonna get out of the confines of the hood. But something in the hood pulled them back in. Something in the hood ultimately destroyed them. And this is, man, the great Greek tale, which is probably just a story stolen from Kush anyway.
This dude right here, dog.
No. All jokes aside, but y'all's story.
Y'all thought y'all was in Wakanda. This woke kinda. Let's get him. Let's go.
Tell me. I mean, you grew up in Chicago, so this story is personal to you.
Yeah, I was in like 7th grade when it happened. When Ben Wilson, you know, to those who don't know, was the #1 basketball player in the nation in 1984, the first to get Chicago #1. Like him and Michael Jordan was the best 2 players in the gym that summer, and we would go to the gym and see that, you know what I'm saying, or hear about it. And when he died, man, I was like, it was real. It was like the city just shut down. Like, but then what was tripped out about it, because Chicago's such a segregated city, Like, you can't go across the tracks because the white people will call you a nigga and throw rocks at you. Or you can't go around the corner a few blocks down because it's GDs over there or the Blackstones over here. So it's like, you pretty much in your neighborhood.
You're
but when Benji died, you can go everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like a piece that happened in Chicago. And I was tripping on that then, and I was in 7th grade. But although it was tragic, but I noticed that. And then fast forward, after we did Through the Wire, his brother, Jeffrey Wilson, came to us like, man, I love the video. I want to do Ben Wilson, my brother's story. And I'm like, Ben Wilson, you Ben Wilson, brother? That's how big it was. You know what I'm saying? Because that was 84, and this is 2005 or 4 or whatever. So I'm like, word, I told Chike, and then we started working on to do the movie with him. And most, first time directors, like we was talking about with the commercials, nothing would happen. We started getting traction, nothing, whatever. But all of a sudden, we just left it alone and started focusing on creative control. And doing that, Keith Cleanscale at ESPN wanted to meet with us about creative control. Chike's girlfriend at the time, Jamie, was working with him, telling him about creative control. He like, I want to meet with him because we got this thing we're about to do over here. So we went over there for the meeting, but we knew they was doing the 30 for 30. So we like, word. And we knew we had that story, and we like, we're gonna hit it with the 30 in the back pocket.
Oh, that wasn't even the big joke. I feel like y'all still had a big Joker card, but y'all just played that was just like the Deuce of Spades right there.
Bam.
Yeah,
wild as hell.
It ain't even been played yet.
Right
on that.
Oh man,
it ain't even been played yet.
Internets. I've been using the Rode Procaster for 6 months now, and I'll tell you what, I've never sounded as good as I do right now. And listen, I've been podcasting for 1,000 years. You know how crappy I used to sound? Now listen to me. Glorious. To get more information on the Rode Procaster and Rode's other microphones, go to Rode.com. That's RODE.com. Take your podcast to the next level with Rode, and now back to the show. And it's wild to hear that story too, because here in the city, I can think of particular watershed moments too, where, probably too many, but I think of like Yusuf Hawkins, the Yusuf Hawkins story, and young man dies in Bensonhurst from a mob killing, racially motivated. Most people say, but just the fact that he's a black kid and he's the other.
It's not most people say it was.
Listen, he could have been a Russian kid. He could have been killed by that mob. But anyhow, it just was something that kind of froze us here, and you're in your teen years, and it's like oh shit, like that's me, and I feel like Midwest towns and any place really. Yeah. That's one of your sons.
Yeah.
That's or one of your daughters.
Friends,
but that's all of us.
Yeah.
And Ben Wilson was y'all. That was your collective dreams, y'all collective hopes.
Dude, it was crazy. And then it just
they gone.
Ended, yep. And but like I said, it was a blessing in disguise. You know what I'm saying? Because in Chicago at that time, if you got shot, they had to take you to the nearest hospital. So the nearest hospital might not have a trauma unit. So a lot of people, didn't make it because of that. And Ben Wilson was the biggest one that didn't make it. Like that now they made it where you have to take any gunshot victim to the nearest trauma unit, not the nearest hospital. So that was a blessing. That saved so many lives because the murder rate went down. It's just a lot happened. You know what I'm saying? And
damn, Chicago had to do a lot then to get the murder rate back up.
Right, oh man.
They had to do a lot.
Right, oh yeah.
America, what did y'all do? Right. America was like, wait a minute, Chicago, y'all ain't got enough guns. We need to give y'all more. We need guns for kids.
But they know what to do. They knew what to do. We're going to tear this project down. We're going to close these schools down. We're going to do things were done.
Yes. Yeah, they made it work. They made it work.
Yeah.
Crack cocaine, whatever. They made it work. So, because I think after Benji, the murder rate went crazy in 90-something.
It was late 80s, the early 90s. They just actually did a report. Like Lester Holt was in Chicago, and he was walking through the neighborhood with the police superintendent. He was talking about that. He says, the crime rate this narrative that Chicago's so violent, but people forget late 80s, early 90s, it was 800, 900 plus murders.
Easy.
So 500 seems like a lot, but it was 800, 900.
Yeah, Wilson was the 866 murder? Or something like that year?
Jesus Christ.
How did anybody even come out of Chicago?
Really?
Like, you and G.Y. only two people that came out of Chicago.
And Kanye.
That was the only two people.
Common,
Right.
Twister. Right. Oh, man.
It was like rapping, all right, we're going to let you come out.
I think that's why we do so great. Like,
but if you got to be great. If you come out of that, if you survive, penetrate all that.
If you survive that boat ride.
Right, you got it.
If you survive Chicago.
Yes.
Shit,
and New York. You survive New York. I mean, we black.
Chicago's different. Chicago's different.
We got it.
Chicago's different.
I don't
It's a certain energy in New York.
The Chicago have brothers wearing flip flops.
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. New York got brothers wearing open toe sandals. Come on, man. New York, man.
On the north side,
Right, yeah. On some Boys Town shit, they might be over there wearing the Jesus and class.
I'm just saying.
The rag wasn't to make it more.
Yeah, I'm fascinated about Dame getting you that first camera.
Yeah.
Dame's a good dude, man. Dame's a good dude.
He got it.
How do y'all connect with all these people? Like Coodie, didn't Bernie Mac used to be your mentor?
Well, sure. When I started doing comedy, my boy was like, "You funny." He was like, "Let's go to the open mic at the Cotton Club." Now the Cotton Club is like Bernie Mac the host, right? This guy Jimmy Spinks. Y'all remember Car Wash, the big dude on Car Wash, Jimmy Spinks. He was like Bernie Mac's Egg McMahon type of thing at the bar. You walk in the door, front door, the stage is right there. All the dope dealers up in there. Sometimes you see Mike Jordan and Pippen and R. Kelly and just everybody in this one little bitty ass place, this little club. It was off the chain. So I'm like, my man was like, "You funny, you should go do the open mic." So I went up. I went to the open mic, and this dude right before me, this comedian, he bombed. He man, I just got off the stage because nobody was laughing or nothing. Bernie Mac went up there like, "Man, you don't get off the stage. You do, you better go." He just got on him, right? But he was really talking to me because I'm next going up. He was telling me what to do, not knowing he was telling me. So I'm like, "Oh, word." I went up there and I killed it, you know what I'm saying? And
maybe
that was my career.
Just putting that warning shot out, like, okay, boom.
Yeah.
When you get up here,
exactly.
don't be Mr. Karen.
Exactly. Stay up there.
And when he did, when his brother tell you did bona fide professional comedian, like BET, Comic View, thousands of people, we had the clip on Vimeo. This is crazy. And I remember when I saw it, I'm like, dog, I've seen this because I used to watch comedy. I wasn't a kid watching me. I've seen this before. With Red brought you out. Everything.
Ricky Smiley and Bruce.
Yeah.
But but it just wasn't my passion. You know what I'm saying? The comedy wasn't, and I just fell in love with the filmmaking. But I
still storytelling.
You don't want to come at me on no jokes, though. Right.
Right. You gonna cut somebody.
I got some in the back there, right?
Still frying people.
But I'm chill. Nah, I ain't. That's why me and my boy Dion Cole, I came up with Dion and we brought Lil Rail up and Get Out. You know what I'm saying? This is all our crew, and but I think we really close because we ain't the type that want to joke all the time. Our comedians just want to tell jokes all the time. Your jaws hurt. Like, oh man, so I wasn't that dude. You know what I'm saying? So I knew it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And
who's Drake dating?
Right.
So I mean, I go back to the idea of controlling your narrative. Mm-hmm. This is the most valuable point right now in storytelling. I mean, listen, we just went through a few months of 2 African American directors having major Hollywood film budgets. I mean, between Coogler's Black Panther and DuVernay's, was it Stitch in Time? Wrinkle. I mean, I didn't see that shit, but yeah. But it was big though. Get Out. Get Out.
Jordan, yeah.
Oh shit,
That's the
I
one.
haven't seen Get Out yet.
Whoa, are you serious?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you gotta go see it. You have to go see Get Out.
You know why? You know, here's
I don't even know if you should say that on the. I might have to edit that part out.
I have to admit, I gotta get that Jordan Peele hate out of my blood.
You don't fuck with Jordan Peele?
When they had that television show,
Peele.
yeah, Key and Peele. I was not really warm towards it. And I gotta get that. I gotta fix it.
That's ego. Put that aside.
Yeah, I gotta fix. I'm gonna fix that for this.
Just for this
production he got called
the KK
Black Klansman. Yeah,
Spike. I want to see that.
I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah.
So I mean, what I'm alluding to now is these doors, these big doors, supposedly are being flung open.
Nah.
Are you in a rush to go into the door, or are you guys kind of just...
Our approach hasn't wavered from before or after. You know what I'm saying? It's still about creative control for us, and it's still wanting to tell the stories that we want to get out. The stories that we're trying to tell have been written way before any of those movies come out, and we are cognizant of... things become trendy. It becomes trendy now to be, we want to make black films. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got, it's like anything that becomes like, it's trendy to be vegan. So now you got to rush of all these brands making vegan food, but that vegan food that they're making is not necessarily good for you. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. And it's all products. It's all a product. The movie's products. You know what I'm saying? We live in a society where it's economy. Everything's economic based. So
y'all are not going to feed into the trend. Y'all are not going to...
I'm feeding into whoever's going to give us the opportunity to make what's in our head come out at 100%, because I know what that's going to do.
Okay.
That's all I care about. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's going to give me the opportunity, if you green, purple, blue, whatever you are, if it's me, because I'm not counting myself out to be able to be the one to whatever comes first. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But and I think with Black Panther, I think Coogler did an amazing job. You got to understand the level of the game that's at with these studios and what that content was about. There's definitely a seesaw thing going on there. He's dealing with, at that time he had just done Fruitville Station, so this is his second.
I think he'd done Creed.
He did Creed,
yeah.
Fruitville, Creed, and to go to this. Now he's dealing with this. It doesn't really get much bigger than Marvel.
Right.
Doing a film at that level.
Right. I mean Disney is out here loaning money to.
So I'm just saying like you got to be real crafty about the messages that you're putting out, because at the end of the day, all cinema is propaganda, period. Everything that we're looking at, somebody's has a message that they're trying to get across. So his messaging has to, the people that are financing it have to be okay with the message that's going out. And the message that they want to go out might not align with the message he wants to go out. He has to figure out how to make everybody feel comfortable with the message that's going out. And that's what I think he did a brilliant job of, because there's millions of messages that are going out, and it all depends on how you come into that film. It's got like tentacles of which message you're gonna catch. You know what I'm saying?
Dig that. When you just spoke on propaganda, man, I had a brother that was just doing a talk the other day on the original, the D.W. Griffith film, Birth of a Nation. Is that something that you guys have viewed?
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay. I haven't seen the full
I haven't seen the original,
yeah.
but I saw
clips.
Yeah.
As propaganda goes,
yeah, that bad.
I mean, is this like, is that the seed of? Because again, we talk about how visceral we are as a species, as humankind. Man, we love for shit to tell lies to our vision. We love tell our vision, and Birth of a Nation is that big seed. Can we overcome that?
Yeah, by reversing the propaganda. You know what I'm saying? So we got to put the real thing out. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just reversing it, I think.
But I mean, one thing is like we gotta put value in what it is that we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So we have to put value within. I don't want to get too deep or too crazy, but we got to put like black people. If we make it a color thing, because I still think like that's still a construct that we got to get over. because that's not the real issue, you know what I'm saying? But it's an issue. So until we get over that, we're not going to see what the real issue is. And we all know it's an economic issue and the classism issue. That shit sees no color. That just sees 1% middle class, lower class, period, at some level. So, but the racism shit exists. And I think as black people, we need to put value into ourselves so that we put our content at a certain level. If we don't value ourselves, nobody else is going to value us. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about running to the Met Gala and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? People have put value into that thing. Collectively, we have put value into that. You know what I'm saying? We need to collectively put value into some things that we really care about.
Crown Fried Chicken Gala.
You can put value. We could put value into this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If we all agree.
If you all agree to, it's
right.
Everything run in this society is run off of collective money. We collectively put a lot of value into money.
What's the dress code for?
What's the dress code
Crown Fried Chicken? Crown Fried Chicken Gala?
Do we wearing Tim's?
Definitely wearing Tim's. Matter of fact, Tim's any color.
Okay.
Clear Timbs. If you got the clear Timbs with the see-through joints, where I can see your socks.
You gotta have a pedicure. Oh, okay.
No. You gotta have the illest sock game. And then you gotta have the toes cut out, and then you gotta have a pedicure. I mean, how they again? To me, the Met Gala was, a function of our fabulousness. Anyhow, people trying to be fabulous as we could be fabulous, but we could be more and more fabulous. Because I know as a people, we can put leather and fur on things that don't get leather and fur. Like we could put leather and fur on a car wheel.
Yeah.
On a rim.
Yo.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do that as a people. We've done that.
Right, and rap about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Do-rag. We would do it.
The thing with y'all though is like I think you created like the art that you created when you were doing those videos for Dame and them, and we were talking about how when they came out on Not Right, whatever it is, we ran to them. It's the quality of work that you guys were doing, right? The branding, everything you're doing was so fucking. It was well shot. It was beautiful. It was a piece of art, right? Like that's what made me watch it. So like, how much of that is out there? You know what I mean? Like
as far as stuff that we was creating at.
Talking about right now.
Oh, and it just out in the,
like on World Star. I'm not seeing that.
No, we got
taking their time, and they've dedicated themselves to a craft, right? Like that's value, right? And you guys mentioned earlier, it's not even about how much money you put into the craft. It's just you having a skill that you worked on. You collect cameras now, right? So, and you're a comedian. You're telling stories now. You're telling stories in different ways, like. It's kind of like there's like this. We were talking about that with Hawaiian Mike. It's like the standards are lower. The barrier to entry is lower, right? Like there's no barrier. Anybody can pick up a fucking camera now and call themselves a fucking director. You know what I mean? So it's like finding guys like you. It just doesn't happen.
You got to go through the weeds to really find good talent, but the stuff is art, out there. Yeah, right? Just art in general.
You know what I mean? Like that's to me, that's the value.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like,
but I do believe I'm just optimistic more than not. So I do believe the chart is continually rising. So I do think like now there's probably the most creativity that's out. If you want to go back. Than 10 years ago. Right. I think people are more.
I think we're seeing them more now because of social media.
Because 100%. Only because of social media. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think people are more willing to kind of have a voice now. And just because of social media, we're seeing other people in other countries have voices and stand up. You know what I mean? Right. So I think people are more willing to like, fucking, I'm about to put out what I think, and people are cultivating their own followings. Yeah. They're cultivating their own followings doing BS too. You know what I'm saying? Right. But
there's a lot of fuck shit.
Yeah, a whole lot. Yeah,
there's a lot of fuck shit. Yeah. There's a total amount of fuck shit going on. But there's still well crafted, great stories, well shot. Again, great stories. Still, they stay with us. They we hold on to them things forever. We talk about them to this moment. You know, when we see that logo, that CC logo come together. You know, so I mean, creating good work will still stand the test of time over the mediocre stuff that, you know, that comes and goes.
Yeah. You met Dame at an airport?
No, I didn't meet him. We already knew Dame from when we was doing the KanYe Through the Wire stuff.
Oh, okay.
But we just had bumped into each other at the airport.
Got it.
And when we bumped into each other, he was like, he asked what we had going on, and I was telling him about creative control. So at the time, we already had the concept of creative control as far as a website where we wanted to, you know, put all this content on. But he had America New, that magazine America New. So
was it called America New?
Yeah.
It was called America.
America New. So he wanted to do a video version of those stories that he was telling America New. He wanted to start shooting them and bringing them to life. And so he was like, man, let's just put all this shit together. And we was like, you know, this Dame is Dame. So, you know, Dame, the American hustler, like, you knew we grew up in the era. Dame was like, you know, I looked up to Dame. So I'm just like, hell yeah, let's do this. You know what I mean? And then that's how it all started. Yeah.
I think he's like one of the most amazing entertainment executives ever. Yeah. Period.
Especially when you look at the trajectory, the story. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He has a vision. Dame has a real vision. He can see, like, he's seen KanYe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He see and he go and he make it happen.
Right.
But you know, then after that, what happens? You know what I'm saying? But he keep going. He never stopping.
He does keep going. I mean, my dad told me some shit years ago, which is, if you ever did something good, do it again. Mm-hmm. Meaning, like, okay, you hit a home run, hit another one.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You know, get a triple now.
Yeah.
But keep swinging.
Yeah. Keep on.
Keep swinging. Keep swinging.
I knew Dan was off his rocker when he had the Dame Dash motor oil.
Oh, yeah, he still got it.
Oh, shit, he really has a whole quart of.
So you gotta see the Dame's type person. He's the type of motherfucker that you never want to bet against. No. He's the type of person that, like, you got to be careful with that one. Because you'll look at shit and see every reason to bet against him. Mm-hmm. But his persistence is, like, something you thought was, like, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? It might seem kind of corny at the time. Man, you'll eat your words. Yep. See, and he does everything. He plays ping pong. He plays ping pong like that.
You play him in ping pong.
You'll get it his whole life.
I mean, I'm good at ping pong.
I'm dead ass. You'll understand.
I'm talking about he just hit the ball back. Boop. And you like spiking. You like trying to kill him. He boop, hit it back. Boop, hit it back. And wins. You know what I'm saying? By doing that. He like just not trying to do nothing fast. He not trying to.
Same way in boxing. He boxes the same way.
Just playing the long game.
Nothing come. And he'll just and the consistency over time, it wears you down. And you slip, and he catches you right when you slip.
Right. You gonna slip.
You box.
Yeah, I box Dave. We got you Dave box.
Me, yeah.
Internet. Oh man, we got a treat tonight. We got
get it going.
We got incredible game tonight, and I can't thank you brothers enough for giving us some time tonight.
Man, it was so much fun, man. It's like this is dope.
A piece of your journey, because the journey don't stop.
No,
the journey does not stop. Internet. Chike and Coodie.
Coodie and Chike.
Yo, internet. Somebody help me with this shit tonight.
It's Coodie and Chike.
Yes, sir.
It's Coodie and Chike. I don't think I'll fuck that up ever again.
Coodie sends out an email every Sunday.
I'm not on Coodie's email list because I haven't got to that list. I haven't entered that room yet. That's all right. We're gonna enter that room one day.
Chris, you're never getting that email.
Talkitecture. I butchered it.
He probably needs it.
Send me his email. I get it.
Creative Control.
Yes.
Coodie and Chike.
Yeah.
Trendsetters.
Yep.
Wave starters. Tsunami starters. Really. Yeah. All right. If y'all don't know,
trend spotters.
Just go back inside the internet and find them, and really find out what's popping right now by finding out what they were touching 10 years ago.
Real quick, just because we in New York, I gotta let the people know we are working on the official Stephon Marbury documentary right now.
Send them a bag.
Brooklyn,
you know what I'm saying?
Brooklyn,
so we was just in China with him filming all that. And
you was in China?
Yeah.
Does he have a family like a Asian family too?
Nah.
I mean,
family like peoples.
Yeah, like
the
culture.
Oh no,
not like
You speak of collection. You got a pair of Starberries?
I do not. I have Ewings.
You're missing out.
I know he doesn't like that, but
Brother Chris got Starberries.
The only Ewings we fucks with are the Adidas joints. That's the only Ewings we acknowledge.
Good dude though, man. His story's gonna be.
That's amazing.
I'm learning a lot about him, and it's not what how the media perceives it. You know
he's a super smart, clearly smart guy.
Yeah.
And the thing was, I mean, he came from a line.
Oh, the Marbury dynasty. It's the lineage.
Yes.
Yeah, the dynasty.
It's the Marbury dynasty.
Lincoln Rail Splitters.
Lincoln. Yeah. He's like the fourth. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
Man,
true legend.
Yeah, true legend.
Were y'all out there also? Because you was out there with Ye for a little bit as well. Was that like around the same time?
Man, it was so crazy. Before I went to go see KanYe, I'm like, I've never been to Asia. Like, seemed like that week I said that. Did I go there with him? And all of a sudden, he like, you want to go to China with us? I'm like, yeah, let's go. I had to get. I'm talking about the day I flew in. I had to get my passport, flew into L.A., and then I went out there. Yeah, we was out there for a minute. Then right after that, we went to Japan from there. And then when we came back, we had to go back to Asia again. I'm like, dang, So I'm about to say my next place where I never been, Australia. So anybody, let's go. We got to get to Australia, right?
That's it.
Or Cape Town, or because when you speak it happens.
Get Coodie to Antarctica, please.
Yeah. Somebody
Get
him to Djibouti.
Djibouti. Nah, I bet you Coodie.
I didn't speak Antarctica.
Coodie better Djibouti.
Oh man, it's called Talkitecture, and I appreciate y'all lending me your ear for this, brothers. Thank y'all for your time tonight.
For sure,
y'all are incredible.
Thank you.
Y'all are incredible.
Thank y'all.
Internets, it does not stop. Talkitecture is a product of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to Combat Jack.
Yeah,
rest in peace for sure.
That was hard to watch. You know what I'm saying?
We was catching those waves so when we was in DD 172, that's Combat was doing his thing, so it was dope to see because we were like, man, because he did Dame and they did one, and we was just like, it was just
you got Just Blaze on.
Yeah,
that was the first time. Justin and Dame interacted over like 10 years. The ping pong reference.
Yeah.
They was, you heard this episode when Dame was calling Just out of like a swag. And then they went for like 40 years. I'm like,
first of all, there's no whole episode about that.
The setup, let me tell you, the whole setup was Reggie went to DD 172 to meet with Dame to set up the interview. Dame kills Reggie.
Because that's Dame. He's doing that.
He says, "Oh shit, you come over here in your Holly Hoppy outfit." Like he basically kills Reggie to death.
He lives for this shit. Dame lives for that shit.
He lives for it. He lives for it. All right. So he knows Reggie. He loves to push his buttons. He kills him for it. But he's already got his fill. So when we sit down inside the interview space, he's already filled up on Reggie. He's already killed him. So then Just comes and he's like, "Oh snap!"
Again.
Like I haven't seen him in a minute, and I remember how I used to get under this man's skin. I remember how I used to really. And Just to his credit, Just is like, "Yo." Just came off a helicopter. Just is successful in his own right. So Just is like, man, listen, I used to talk shit, but now look at me. Dame was like, yeah, I see you, brother. I see you.
Because he don't care about none of that. When Dame's talking shit, we just back on the block.
No, listen. There's a big difference here. My bro. Levels for everything, forever. I don't give a fuck how much money you got, my nigga. You will always be that guy.
Right.
You understand that? I don't give a fuck.
I know you.
As a man, I know you, my nigga. I know what they're dressing.
Exactly.
I got it. But I'm gonna strip
You do it.
They know how to do that.
Shout out to our brother.
Good.
Yeah.
Just for historical purposes.
Now we could do a whole episode just on that. About niggas that get brand new.
So it's right each other, right?
That's the word.
He got his foot crossed and he's on his phone. And he just
Who jabbed first?
Dame. We talking about the origin story and all that, and then Dame was like, yeah, I taught this guy.
I don't know. I won't say Dame Jeffrey. I would say Dame basically. Position. He set himself up, like I said, with his legs crossed, like he was weak, and then just was like, you know what, I'm gonna push you over because I'm good now. And Dame was like, I'm fine. No, I'm back up.
I got it.
Dog, Dame is the ultimate dog. He's one of the ultimate Jedis. I'm talking about, like, if you blink your eye wrong in front of his ass, he will he'll dissect that motherfucker. He'll know it, and then you done for it.
Dame was so calm. Yeah. And I think that was kind of. I was getting irritated. I'm like, bro,
you can be, bro, because listen, you can be calm.
He's a Jedi.
If I know you, nigga,
right?
I can be calm. Who are you? You are not. I could. Right? You're always gonna be that son.
I was wearing fake jerseys back in the studio days.
Okay.
And that's when, just like, what are you talking about? I was in there for 48 hours at a time, and I used to we would have big clients come in, so I had to go to Modell's and get a new jersey. But
see, the way you got to go with Dame, the way you got to go with Dame is you just be. None of this shit matters, and that's what he just sort of came.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you have to understand something. Hold on for a second. The ultimate credit that I gave Dame that night was of juggling Rockefeller and diplomats and state property and juggling all of these men.
Big pause. State property. Yeah.
Juggling all of these men simultaneously, feeding their egos, satisfying them, getting them to produce content, at a high level,
getting them rich,
getting them, moving them around the country, around the globe. Again, these are entourages, and he basically orchestrated this entire. So in all honesty, he. For that alone, and then being the middleman with the suits, with the motherfucker who, like, turn your chair around, like that motherfucker who's sitting in the office with his fucking back to the wall.
You better look at all that before you step into that with Dave. You got to process all of that first, because if you don't, you playing yourself. You know what I'm saying?
You don't even understand the dude that you are confronting.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't
exactly.
even, and again, like I say, he like to let you look like, oh, I'm fucked up. Like, he'll take his tooth out, like, I'm all fucked up. And he'll be like, yo, look at Dan, you all fucked up. I'll put my tooth back in, I shave, nigga, I'm rich.
Right.
I just fucking bought you. I just fucking bought your whole house. Now you're homeless.
Yeah.
All right, just to spite you, you know. So, but I mean, he is an incredible dude.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I've never laughed so much in my life fucking with him. Like I've been the maddest because we used to get into it just because of differences of opinion. So he's made me the most furious that I've ever been in my life, but I've never laughed as hard. And sometimes you gotta have to get the highest highs. You gotta experience like the lowest lows.
But that's what I want to say. Why y'all are so incredible, because y'all came through that. Y'all came through that farm system not as sons.
Yeah, we was partners.
As peers and partners.
Yeah.
So that right there, let me know that y'all are operating on that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we came on the boats. We came from the boats. We came over here on the boats.
Oh. Take that.
Some of us still preserve that DNA.
It's in y'all. It's in y'all, and it don't stop. And it don't stop. Internets, I tell you what, we're gonna keep recording. We're gonna keep talking. Rather, we just gonna stop recording. All right. So y'all gonna have to do something else with y'all time right now. Listen to another podcast, but make sure y'all follow Creative Control wherever they at on these internets. Just follow them in real life. Don't stalk them though. Don't be a fucking creep. All right.
Coodie Rock.
Koza.
There you go. Internets. Catch all on the next app. The Nets. 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 Catch all on the next app. The Nets.